What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/choosingbeggars. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Choosing beggar roommate thinks money I got from family counts towards what she owes me. So roommate, 21 female, and I, 20 female, got a place together. I was having trouble with my family, and so was she, but she explained to me that she was getting kicked out. I had known her for 6 years at this point, and she had a not so great family, so when she told me her father was expecting too much of her and kicking her out for not meeting expectations, I believed her as this was nothing outside of the norm, but that will come up later. I did all the research and found a perfect first place for 2 young adults. The rent was a quarter of our monthly incomes, within 10 minutes of both our works, near 3 grocery stores, near our banks, near the post office, and in a good neighborhood overall. I pulled a miracle out of my butt finding this place, to put it bluntly. Except, insert sudden tale of woe as to how she lost her money for half her due to some schooling issue and a parking ticket, leaving me pretty high and dry based on how short the notice was. So what did I do? I ponied up the money and paid first month rent, deposit, and took care of filling the apartment with food and cleaning supplies. We had it set immediately that she would pay me an agreed upon amount each month to settle the sizable debt, although my naive self would later find things wouldn't work so prettily. Anyhow, after that, I had less than $50 to my name to last me about a month, as I had just started a new job and my pay wouldn't be coming for a minute. Cue my mother and stepdad having a very heartfelt conversation with me and gifting me $400 as a housewarming gift for me to get set up. The conversation meant a lot to me and left a big impression on me. Lots of tears were shared. I was so happy with the whole situation, I told my roommate the story. Stupid, I know. And she zeroed in on the money I was gifted. Roommate: so, she just gave you $400 for no reason? Not really, she gave it to me for the apartment and stuff, and because I have no money right now. Yeah, but that's for the apartment, right? Our apartment? I start to see where she is going with this immediately, and I don't like it. Can the $400 count towards what I owe you? Since you got the money for no reason, we can make it for what I owe. I was pretty appalled that she would even have the nerve to ask this. It was like a scene out of the X-Files to me. My awesome friend had been replaced with some money-hungry cryptid. I tried to remain civil, however, as I knew that stress over money affects people differently. Me: I don't think so. My mom gave it to me because she was proud of me, not to pay your debt. It's mine, and why would you even ask that? She begins sulking, avoiding eye contact, and mumbling her annoyance. These would be her norms when she didn't get her way over the next year. I really wish I would have gotten out of there sooner rather than later. I just thought maybe that could work out since she just gave it to you for no reason. It would really help me out. It was beginning to annoy me that she kept bringing up that I was gifted the money by instead saying there was no reason for my mom to have given it to me. Me: you owe me because I already helped you out. The next year living with her was a nightmare. She always had excuses as to why she couldn't pay for this or that, yet she always had money for concerts and parties. She never cleaned, ever. She would leave piles of tissues in every room on the floor, would use my cups, and leave half-full glasses of milk in her room to rot, just to name a few activities. I also found out that her slovenly nature was the real reason she was kicked out of her father's house in the first place. Both of her parents over the year we lived together would separately apologize to me out of embarrassment of their daughter's lack of cleanliness and her attitude. To her credit though, she did eventually pay me back after about 3 years. Immediately following which we cut contact since the relationship had long since passed. Oh, you got free money? Well, just put it towards what I owe you. Thanks. This free computer isn't good enough. So I recently bought a non-working computer off Gumtree because it was the exact computer I had growing up and it would bring back memories, and for $15 it was great. I picked it up and spent around $50 on a new hard drive because the old one was busted, new thermal paste, and a new GPU. I've got the computer almost up to date on its drivers, and I was really excited to use it to play old games. My neighbor lost his job due to the pandemic and his son now needs a computer for schoolwork. My mom asked if I was willing to give them my computer that I had just bought, and as much as I hated to do it, I agreed because I already have a really good laptop and a nice computer. Someone was in need of a PC, so I agreed. Last Friday, some restrictions were eased where I live, so now people can invite up to 2 people to their houses, so the kid and his dad came over. His dad was talking to my dad, and the kid came over to my room for the computer, as I still had a few updates to do that were necessary for applications like Google, Microsoft, Office to work. They were display drivers and the software for the internet adapter to work if you wanted to know. And I was going to update it to Windows 7 rather than the XP it was running. I take him to my room and he sets his eyes on my gaming PC and thinks that's the one I'm giving away. He gets really excited and starts thanking me. I correct him and tell him that that's my main PC and then point to the one I'm giving to him. It's an HP Compact from 2008, so it doesn't look the best and his expression immediately changes. He says, "I'm going to get that?" in an ungrateful manner, but the guy was 12, so I didn't think anything of it. I get him a seat and tell him that I need to finish some updates to make the PC better, and he makes a comment about how ancient the operation system is. I once again ignored it, but he kept saying, "I don't think it can even run Google." At this point, I knew he was disappointed that a free computer he was getting isn't good enough, but I was still willing to give it to him. A good 10 minutes passed, and after silence, he asked me what games it can run. I tell him that it's an old system, so it's probably going to run from its 2005 area at low quality. He completely ignored that and asked if it can run Grand Theft Auto. I tell him no, to which he replies with, "Then what the F is this crappy thing useful for?" I reply with, "It runs Chrome, Word, PowerPoint, and other software well enough for your school needs, and that's the reason you need it, so it's more than enough for you." He points towards my gaming machine once again and says, "You can do all that need bullcrap on this crappy computer, give me that one. You clearly don't need it because all you care about is frickin' Word." I decided not to deal with him anymore, so I told him to get out of my room and he'll get the computer I offered once I'm done with it. He slams my door on his way out, and 2 minutes later my mom's in my room asking me if I yelled at the little bugger. I explained to her what happened and I come downstairs to her telling his fake sob story to his dad and my dad. I explained what he really said, but I'm still willing to give him the computer. His dad just says sorry about what he did and it's okay about the computer, I'll get him one elsewhere. Oh, jeez. You're begging for a computer, and once you get it, it's not good enough for you. Shake my head. Choosing Beggar didn't want the money I offered him. So this happened about 2 months ago, but I've only now discovered this subreddit in all my newfound free time. I was outside about 7 AM at a location we were using for a student film I've been working on, taking notes and sketches on the space and stuff. After about 5 minutes of me walking back and forth on the street, a guy walks up and asks me what I'm doing. Now, usually I do what everyone else would do, say nothing and go about my business. But we were the only two out there and his initial question was harmless enough, so I obliged him. This blossomed into a 10-minute conversation in which I found out we had a lot in common. We both were students, we both came from New Jersey, and we both had family who were veterans, etc. Of course, after a while came the inevitable, "Hey man, now that we know each other, you think you could help me out and lend me $15? The conversation wasn't all unpleasant, so I checked my wallet. I had $10. Took out $5 and told the guy he could have it, but I needed the other half to buy my lunch. The guy says, "Seriously man, after all that, you're gonna do a Jersey brother like that?" I told him I literally don't have enough cash on me to afford to give him more. Guy says, "I know you got a card in there, everyone's got a card." He gestures a building down the street. "They got an ATM over there, let's go over there and get some more cash." This spawned a very long argument about why I wasn't going to do that, but he kept insisting. Eventually offered to take the card over there if I'd give him my PIN. Said I could watch him the whole time, no joke. I assured him that if I had enough money to spend on ATM fees and give away to people, we'd both be a lot happier. He walked away shouting about how everyone is a-holes these days and left me standing there with my $5 in hand. Chief? Yeah, normally you don't ask money from someone you just met. And especially don't ask them to take their credit card. Jeez. Give an inch and they'll take a mile. So this happened a few years ago when I worked at a factory in my town. I was 22 years old, 40-hour work week here. Houses were right next to it and a pizza place is right across the street. On break, this kid I've known since 3rd grade spotted me while walking to the pizza shop. I have to mention that this kid is definitely on heroin, no doubt about it. I know all the signs. He dropped out of high school around sophomore year. This dude asked me for a cigarette because he's seen me smoking. I gave him one and that was a huge mistake. For the next 2 weeks, he literally came exactly at the time I go on break to ask me for a cigarette. I'm a nice dude and I know what it's like to be broke while having this cancer habit, so I always gave him one. That's not what the problem is, but I wanted to give some backstory. One day, he and his brother, also a drug addict, asked for a ride to the train station. Since I have a half-hour break and it's only a 3-minute drive, I did it. They start going on and on about them going to see their stepmom in Camden, New Jersey because they miss her. I'm not an idiot and I know they're going there for drugs, but I don't say anything. When we get to the train station, they ask if I can buy a ticket for them. LMAO, I say nah. I don't have cash, so they then asked me if I can go up with them to use my card. They said they don't have money for the tickets. I said no, then they both slammed my doors and then was angrily staring at me while I was driving away. Sure enough, the next day he came on my break to apologize to get a cigarette, and I told him flat out no. I know he's not sorry at all, just wants his nicotine fix. He stopped coming around after that. About a week later, I had a crack in my windshield when I came out to leave work. It might be a coincidence, but I doubt it. Gotta love drug addicts. Hey, thanks for the ride to the train station and everything, but, can you buy us, like, a ticket now? Donkeys. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.